Hey, this is War 9, I think. I'm a little behind on videos, so I'm probably just wrong, but this is against Bolt, bringing in Spiderwoman, Jean Grey, and Nico. I think I get the 7-star Nico pretty shortly after, or the Titan shifts or something like that. But starting off on Path 5 in Section 1, this is the Ebb and Flow Knockdown, Obstinate Charge, and Bolster Energy node. There's a Prowler here. Spider-Woman doesn't really counter anything he does. I kind of just figured she's a strong enough champ where I can, like, mess up a bunch and probably not die no matter what. But this fight is pretty slow. I think it takes over 2 minutes, so it's definitely not like an ideal matchup. And there are gambles you can take in this fight. Like once you get your ensnare, you have, a chance to fail his falter after his specials. But I think at one point in this fight, I will forget about that and hit into it. Like, oh, right there. I mean, I do have like the evade, but Prowler actually has pursuit off his SP1, so that would actually do nothing. And yeah, we don't really have very many Furies. Kind of just been punching him without even knocking him down. We'll go for our first knockdown here. And yeah, we can't really punish. Again, we're got to walk up and get hit. And now I'm faltered, which is also not ideal because I'm about to lose my up and flow knockdown. Fury, and I think I just go for the relic into SP1 here. Or no, I go for the heavy first. He throws this, which honestly isn't ideal. Like, this kind of just makes me wait around a little longer because, again, I can't really safely punish. Go for the SP1. We do still get power lock to 0 after our specials, which isn't ideal. But, this fight, it's not going great. It's not going terrible. I think I get this knockdown here. And I'm trying to get the special. There we go. So he's down below half, which, again, this fight, despite it not being ideal, like, Spider-Woman is still super strong. And once again, I get faltered right there, just kind of eating random hits. So yeah, this fight is pretty ugly, I'll say. Like, definitely not, like, an impressive display of any sort of war skill by any means. But we're still fairly healthy, and Prowler is nearly dead at this point. So we go for the relic, and I think I just try to punch him down. Not really too worried about. Well, he gets the protection shield back, so now I kind of have to, dance around a little bit and try and get it down before I can really kill him because now he's like taking very little damage. I think I should go for this SP1, and the power stings will kill as soon as he fires off his next special. And I think it takes a little bit, but yeah, he finally throws it. So definitely an ugly fight. Like 2 minutes, not the slowest, not very fast at all, considering it's a rank 4 Spider-Woman. Moving on, this is the same ebb and flow knockdown node, but now there's heavy hitter and aggression precision, I think. Yeah, aggression precision. And Nick is like one of the most common placements here. Like I'd say pretty much every alliance places him here all the time. And it makes sense. He's a pretty punishing defender if you do get caught or mismanage his tactical charges or anything like that. And then in his second life, of course, he'll like go unstoppable there. So I can't really punish his heavy. And I'm trying not to bait his SP1s because it's just easier to push to SP2. He throws it here, and Jean is pretty safe for this fight. She doesn't counter unstoppable, unfortunately, so technically, like, a champ like Dust is still probably objectively safer, considering she's bleed immune and has grit to deal with all of, or pretty much everything Nick does. But Jean is very safe and just has a ton of damage, and I needed her for other fights, so yeah, we got him into his second life now. He'll start ticking away fairly quickly. Bait the SP2, so you can kind of just get free openings. In the second life, you do just kind of have to intercept and dance around, but it can get scary if he doesn't play into you and just kind of holds his power and lets his precision stack as well. Here, I just play it poorly, eat an unblockable SP1. Not ideal, but we get the intercept back. And at this point, I'm just trying to get him to a special 2 because I can dex the special 2. I'm not very capable of dexing the SP1, but we get his protection shield down, and he'll just tick away to these neuros, and one more hit does it. So even though we get the SP1, Jean's force field is really OP, and that fight was like just about 1:20. Moving on to Path 3 in Section 2. This is the Overwhelming Odds, Encroaching Stun, and Reluctant Retaliation node. Okoye is the most common placed champ here, and I'm very thankful that it wasn't one because that fight is terrifying, and as a planner, I have the privilege of never sending myself to fight Okoye there. But here, Nico is, I guess, very good for it in the sense that she can just take away all of Gore's buffs, and therefore Gore has no added attack rating from the overwhelming odds node. But there is a lot to track. Like here, I'm about to lose my buff immunity, but I managed to refresh it at the last second while kind of keeping in line with encroaching stun because the special animation was active while the stun was trying to trigger. And yeah, we throw this one. These hits do like no damage. Like a crit is doing 4,000 damage, which I know she's a 6-star and her specials are not meant to hit hard, and I don't have any Furies. But it's just kind of funny how little damage I was doing on the actual hits. But the damage over time from all the prevented buffs turning into poisons, that fight was over in like 40 seconds. Moving on, this is the Combat Deja Vu, Disintegration, Cold Turkey, and Safeguard node. I don't quite remember how this fight went. I think it gets a little ugly just because I make stupid decisions and mess up, but Jean is pretty perfect for this fight. Like, she's not great in the sense for Combat Deja Vu because she wants to use a lot of light attacks in a row to stack as many neuros as you can, but I'm just kind of getting one in per combo at this point and going for a heavy to purify. I think I bait this and I get to an SP2, which is like really pointless, but then I also just slow it down because I'm like kind of realizing in that moment I shouldn't have gone for my special 2. But yeah, we lose our force field, which is kind of whatever. But now I just can't really parry him, and I am subject to physical thorns as long as my force field is on cooldown, which again really isn't the end of the world. Like now we have 15 neuros on him, and we're kind of just letting them tick away. But yeah, as you can tell, this fight can definitely go a lot better than it's going right now. You know, not getting hit, not throwing special 2s into block. But yeah, I go for a light attack to try and space for the heavy punish on his SP1, and it just doesn't work. But at least the burst damage on Jean's special 2 isn't safeguard capped. So again, a bunch of stupid mistakes in that fight, but if you looked at my health bar after, you probably wouldn't be able to tell just because of how strong Jean's force field is. Moving on, this is a rank 4 Cassandra Nova on Stun Immune, Hazard Shift, Poison Rupture. This is a decent placement. I initially wanted to bring Sentinel for this fight because he's objectively safer, I think. But I couldn't fit him in my team, so I was just like, you know what, I'll use Spiderwoman. She's strong enough, and also, like, just Cassandra doesn't really restrict or prevent any of Spider-Woman's damage source. Like, she has no resistance to power stings, and I get really, really good hazard RNG in this fight. Like, this is probably the best hazard shift RNG I'll ever see, just because I'm doing like full combos into rupture, and I only got one rupture in like 7, 8 hits. But yeah, we're kind of just we have the special 1 dex down. It's pretty straightforward to do, and if you have it, it's pretty much no threat from this defender because Cassandra's main point of concern is if you let her get to her special 2, because it like roots you and like applies a bunch of neuroshocks into block, I think. And here, this is my last Spider-Woman fight. Or no, it's not actually. I have boss after this. But I just ended up wailing in and getting a few ruptures, but still 98%. And the last fight of this war, I think, is another Zola boss. The last one went pretty slow, I think, earlier in the season. And one of my alliance mates, Garbo, he did this fight in like sub 2 minutes. So I was like, oh, let me try and beat this. Spoilers that I don't. This doesn't go that fast. Like, it starts off pretty well, or like going pretty well, I think. But then it kind of just gets a little tricky in just Zola stacking all these energizes. But here I actually wanted to dex so I could refresh all my Furies. And then go for my special 2, get the Retribution passive, and now I'm at 14. I want a heavy just because I got 10 charges, and the upside is that we're getting most of these heavy punishes down just because the dex spacing or the timing is a little weird. But yeah, we got 15 Furies, we're just still intercepting. Like, again, he's playing into me a lot more than he was in my previous attempt. But still, it's, you know, I think I saw Garbo's video of him doing it in like a minute 40 or something crazy like that. And he just kind of played a little riskier, which, you know, if it works, it works. I just try not to do that in war as much. There, I just completely whiff a heavy, but I don't get punished for it, which is very nice. And here, we'll just knock him down to kind of get his sleep charges back under control. He's throwing some hits in my block a little more often than I want him to. And again, like, I can't really control if he's throwing all these SP1s. I'm just trying to get back to my special 2. And yeah, like, again, full combos. I'm kind of just playing slow. Like, I know the health race is not a concern. Like, I'll win it unless I go and dash, like, face first into a full SP2 from him. I get hit somehow going for an intercept, but we get the evade trigger, so we're kind of just able to avoid any extra damage. And yeah, at this point, I have 10 power detonation, so I think I just let this SP2 go because I have like, oh yeah, 11 at that point. We throw it. He's at 15 sleep charges, which is a bit of a concern, just because I think I just go in relic instantly, so I don't, you know, put him to 20. And yeah, there's another SP1. We're just trying to get this next SP1 off, I think, because we're at 14 Furies and he has the Retribution on him. And I don't know if this kills, honestly, but I go for this heavy and he's at 2 bars and it puts him to 4%. So pretty nearly dead. And yeah, I don't know if I go for combos to finish him off, but yeah, he actually doesn't die here. So I'm just kind of like sitting here waiting for one more opening. Gives it to me, go for the heavy, doesn't even kill. I think I just throw this into his block and it kills. And yeah, so definitely not as fast as Garbo's fight, unfortunately, but still relatively easy. 2 minutes 23 is faster than my last attempt. We did go 150 and Venez this war, and this is his second Hall of Shame entry. But yeah, GG's to Bolt. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.